Culture tells us that aging is a slow loss, a loss of strength, a loss of clarity, a loss of joy. But Scripture tells a different story, that while the outer self may decline, the inner life can actually grow stronger. So the question isn't, does aging reduce happiness? The question is, what part of you is actually aging? Science confirms that the brain changes over time. Processing slows, structure declines. But here's the paradox. Happiness doesn't follow that same downward path, and that aligns with something deeper. Happiness was never meant to come from what's fading, but from what is being formed within you. When we look at both neuroscience and psychology, we see something powerful. Two completely different approaches, pointing to the same truth. Human beings are designed with an internal capacity to withstand change. Scripture would call this endurance, renewal, and transformation. Yes, the brain's physical structure declines, that's real, but the research shows this decline does not determine your happiness, which means your joy was never rooted in your biology alone. It was rooted in something deeper, your ability to interpret, respond, and align internally. The part of your brain that declines fastest is not the part most responsible for happiness. Happiness is tied to connection, integration, regulation, not raw power, but alignment. And spiritually, that reflects a deeper truth. Peace comes not from strength, but from order within. Aging itself doesn't steal happiness. It only exposes weaknesses in the system. If your internal connections remain strong, your experience remains stable. In other words, what's inside determines what you experience, not what's happening to you. These brain pathways are responsible for emotional regulation, your ability to process, not just feel, to pause, not react, to reframe, not spiral. That's not just neuroscience, that's discipline of the mind. Even in difficult environments, people can maintain happiness. Why? Because happiness is not controlled by environment. It's shaped internally. That's something Scripture has always taught. There is always tension between limitation and meaning, between loss and purpose, and the outcome is not determined by circumstances, but by what you choose to build internally. Self-efficacy, the belief that you can still act, is one of the strongest predictors of happiness. But from a biblical perspective, this isn't just belief in yourself. It's alignment with purpose, confidence not in control, but in calling. Resilience is not accidental. It's built through action, through learning, through encouragement, and through how you interpret your experience. This is how the mind is trained. Both science and Scripture arrive at the same conclusion. Happiness is protected by regulation and control. Not control of your life, but control of your internal world. Aging only disrupts happiness when it disrupts your ability to respond. This means happiness is not passive, it's practiced. You protect your body, you engage your life, you build your skills, you renew your thinking, and over time, you become more stable, not less. So here's the truth. Aging is not a slow loss of happiness. It's a shift in where happiness comes from external stimulation to internal stability, from excitement to peace, from control to contentment, and maybe what you thought was decline is actually refinement.